Here it is. What do you think? Wave Maker. That's what you're probably wondering. What's the color of that vehicle? Wave Maker 2026 Sequoia TRD Pro. And what Toyota is doing this year with the TRD Pro, at least the series of the Tundra, Tacoma, Forerunner, and the Sequoia, they're giving them the option of going with this cool color, Wave Maker. I don't know if it's controversial or not, but I was looking at my Sharpies. I've got a Wave Maker Sharpie color right here. Anyhow, this is my vehicle this week. I've had it all week, and it's been a lot of fun. Been a head turner. So I thought I'd give you some details about it, a walk around. I'll give you a few numbers, but I'm not going to overwhelm you with numbers because I think as a shopper of something in this category, a big full-size SUV, 3 rows, what do you care about? The basics, right? Fuel economy. Yeah, you might be concerned about the horsepower and torque, but what does it look like on the inside? How does it feel? And what was it like living with something like this? That's what I'm doing today. Let's begin. By the way, this video is sponsored in part by LasFit. They sent me these liners and mats to demo for you inside the Sequoia. I'll show you how you can get a set that can benefit your new or used vehicle coming up, plus a discount to save some money. All right, I'm gonna pop the hood here and show you the engine bay and give you a few numbers. I'm not gonna go super number heavy on this video because if you really care, you can easily see all those things on a spec sheet. But like I said before, I'm gonna show you what it's like and my experience this week. So under the hood here, iForce Max, twin turbo, V6, and hybrid. When I'm driving this around, I don't think hybrid. I don't feel hybrid behind the wheel. 437 horsepower. Does that sound like a hybrid to you? It's a lot of vehicle, like 6,000 pounds, a little over 6,000 pounds is the total weight of this. And the torque, nearly 600 pound-feet of torque. The number is 583 pound-feet of torque. Fuel economy. When you have something this large, you think there'd be a trade-off. Somewhat, but not that much, thanks to that hybrid, in my opinion. You're looking at 19 city, 22 highways, so that mixed driving number when you're going around town after a full week. I know gas prices are insane, but that 20 miles per gallon. And it still has plenty to tow, over 9,000 pounds of towing capability for this. So those are your numbers from the spec sheet and a little bit of experience, because when I'm driving, I don't think that. It has a pretty cool exhaust note, which we should listen to that now, right? A quick word and hands-on demo from today's sponsor, LasFit. Now, the first thing you'll notice as I swap out the floor mats throughout the vehicle is the coverage. Compared to the factory mats, these come up higher on the sides, cover much more of the floor, and do a much better job protecting the areas that usually get hammered the most. LasFit uses 3D laser scanning to build these mats for the exact vehicle that you have. You can clearly see the nice tight edges, solid coverage, no sloppy gaps, and no cheap universal mat look. This is really the whole point. The raised outer lip and deep channels help trap water, mud, slush, and whatever else you drag in, so it stays on the mat instead of soaking into the carpet underneath. And when it's time to clean them, it's simple. Pull the mat out, rinse it off, wipe it down, and you're good to go. That's a whole lot easier than trying to clean stained factory carpet. If you want better interior protection for your own vehicle, LasFit makes custom-fit floor mats for a wide range of cars, trucks, and SUVs on their website. If you want to grab a set for your vehicle, then use my exclusive link below and save 20% off your order with code ED26. That's ED26. I'll also pin the link in the comment section as well. This is a pretty cool back end. I like how Sequoia is bold in these black letters here on the back. Oh, look at that. Everyman driver license plate. Anyhow, I'll do a demo of the cargo area in a second, but I'll leave the microphone back here so we can show you, and not show you, but so you can hear what this exhaust note sounds like in a V6 hybrid. So I'll leave it right here, start it up, and you can listen. Right? Right? That's what I'm talking about. That's the exhaust note. TRD performance. There's a reason why this vehicle is so popular, and I think is definitely worth a test drive. All right, let's move on. Before we go inside, I'll give you a little tour on the outside just to show you the exterior and what makes this look so rugged. If you take a look at the front, on that grille. You can see the light bar in the center, plus those 3 lights up top. And from what I heard and what I've learned, those are required because the vehicle is so wide. So you're wondering why do I have 3 lights there? You can also see the backup cameras front and center right there for your 360 degree, along with sensors down front. And then you got your headlights right there, LEDs. Of course, the TRD Pro emblem on top to let you know what you're driving. I like how these wheel wells are flanked by this almost like a camouflage coloring over that. Kind of cool, along with the 18-inch wheels, TRD shocks down there. Looks so sharp, right? Those wheels are rugged as can be. Then you got the step, which has a nice grip on it. That's a hard grip. You don't want to scrape your shins on those at all. And this is a little challenging because if you ever go through a drive-through, this side mirror is pretty big, but it does close up once you lock the vehicle. So don't worry about when you're parking. But initially, that will be a bit of an issue, or at least it seems like it. Bring it back. Same thing here in the back. As I showed you just moments ago, that is a bold Sequoia nameplate, isn't it? Looks pretty sharp with the exhaust here in the far left. And I'll show you the cargo in a second, but more of the exterior with this roof rack. I recently went to a family gathering and I got people gathered around this vehicle asking about that roof rack and what's so different about it, how it sits up high, but it seems very versatile on how you can use that for storage. All right, we might as well go ahead and show you the cargo area. Now, there's a couple ways that you can access the inside. There's the traditional button right underneath here, or if you just want to reach in, you can press this, lifts that up there. I had to do that because I had the dog's blanket back there a little while ago, and I wanted to take it out before I did the video. So that's a nice way to access the back area, and those seats will come down thanks to these buttons right there. I'll show that as well, but we don't need that for now. And there's a different way. Hopefully this works real time. Hey, thank you. Delivered, didn't it? I love the kick option because I've come out of the grocery store, both hands full, and you want that flexibility just to open it up. Now here's something else. This is also great flexibility. They have this tray for storage, and there's 3 levels to it. And they go on these shelves right here, 1, 2, and 3. So it depends on what you need or don't need in terms of storage. A lot easier with 2 hands than it is 1 hand. But there you go. So if you want to keep something underneath it, whether maybe it's dirty, muddy, you can put it here and keep your dry stuff on top. Again, this helps you out with flexibility and storage on the different levels that you can use for this right here. All right, to lower the 3rd row, real easy. 1 touch here, 1 touch here, and those will drop down. I had the kids sitting back there. My kids always love it when I get a 3-row SUV to demo because one gets their own seat in the middle and one gets the seat in the back. Just a matter of who gets there first. And you can see here, captain's chair is in the middle, which makes it easier to access the 3rd row if you don't want to push that middle row seat down. And by the way, those 2 seats here, this one and that one, if they don't slide forward, that's their position. And I'll show you that in a second, but just want to give you an idea of what it looks like cargo-wise if you were wanting to use this. And again, if I'm going to drop this down here, that lower level, that's what that would look like with the floor. So a couple tiers here, something underneath here, good floor there, and then if you have to use something there. So, I mean, it's not ideally flat, but you can see what you can use for storage, whether you're going to your weekend sporting event or maybe going for a big grocery haul or, you know, home improvement store. Now you have a better idea. And here's a good look also, which you can't quite see from the front, is a USB charging port right there inside. So someone on the right-hand side will be able to charge their devices along with cup holders there. Naturally, you have cup holders on both sides. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, take a look at that middle row now. We've had a busy week, kind of a messy week at times. A little mess on the floor, apologize for that, but life of a parent. You cannot slide these middle rows forward. That's their position. So there is your leg room, minus the adjustability that the front seats can have. And here's where you can lift this up to access the back row if you need. And check this out, from this angle right here, you can just lift that seat up and not have to go in the back to open that up. This little button right here, there's also one on that side right over there that can lift that seat up as well. Anyways, that's what you would do to get to the back seat. But Dave, I want to see what it looks like if you sit in the back seat as an adult who's 5'11". All right, good question. Handle here, handle there. Now this, I think this slid back a little bit when I turned off the vehicle, but even so, there's my leg room behind the seat. Yeah, I can push this forward a little bit more. I can tell that it's leaning back. Headroom, here is a bit of an issue, right? If you're taller, 6 feet is probably the max right here without having to really slump down, because I'm 5'11" with my Travis Matthews hat on here. I'm about 6 feet tall, so hitting that. You do have this beautiful sunroof, moonroof here, but it doesn't go back behind the head of the second row passengers. But it's easy to slide between spots if I wanted to sit here, okay? So there's that. Armrests on both sides, adjustable. Spot here for some storage. Oh, the kids left some garbage there. Good to know before I give it back. Climate controls for the middle row, which you can also do up there front. So there's a way you can do climate for front and rear seat occupants. Okay, that seemed like a pretty good demo, right? All right, let's go to the front. Front seat cabin, realistic. Yeah, the seat did come back a little bit when sliding forward when I turned on the vehicle. You might be able to hear the exhaust in the back. So even, see me how I'm pulling forward a little bit? More room for the passenger back, at least for the leg room, not so much headroom. All right, huge center screen, always beautiful. You can hook up your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto to this. Pretty responsive, pretty standard across the Toyota lineup. I see it all the time, so it's not a big deal to me, but I think it's very nice, not too obtrusive, doesn't raise up too high along your eye line right here. Solid steering wheel when I'm driving down the road. Of course, it's adjustable, up and down, telescopic, all that good stuff. Find the right spot. Steering wheel mounted controls, usual things here. You got your Bluetooth, volume control, lane keeping, cruise control, all that stuff. You can adjust the screens. And if you ever wondered, why do these people on YouTube always show us the top trims? Well, the manufacturer sends us that so you can see everything that's available. If they give you the base trim, that's not always the best representation for a vehicle. So I get the top ones. That way you get to see everything that's possible. One charger down here for a wireless charging pad. I've been seeing more and more, they've got these duals where you can have side-by-side chargers for the driver and the passenger. It's kind of nice. Cup holders, this thing slides and lifts up. And USB charger ports right in here. Different drive modes that you can play with here. There's a multi-terrain system, tow mode, all this stuff. All the usual things. So for me, driving throughout the week, there's only a few things I really use. I love the backup camera. It has the 360 view, the backup view. You can change the views, what you need, whether it's the front. Use the 2 side mirrors, have cameras on them too, which helps with that 360 view. Looking forward, looking back from the side mirrors, or a straight back shot along with the whole 360 on the right-hand side. So that's always nice. Is in a realistic, what would I use if I'm in this vehicle? Sure, if I'm going off-road, which I feel completely confident with, I have those options with the different drive modes, and they're going to pop up right here. Drive modes, sport, normal, and eco. That's all there, and it gives you a little visual in the instrument cluster. I like it. I mean, people were asking me when I was driving around with this, hey, that's pretty cool. First of all, the color, what is that? And what's your guess? All right, it's a Wavemaker. What do you think of it so far? Hey, it's realistic. It's a realistic, expensive vehicle for families that would have no issues going off-road on the weekends because of how durable and capable it is to handle things. But driving around town is just as good too. And it really helps that I have that hybrid system for the fuel economy. So 20 miles per gallon mixed driving for a vehicle this size, and for what it can tow and for how heavy it is, not too shabby. So in the words of Cousin Eddie, if you don't mind me asking, how much this put you back? Well, this here is just over 81 grand, 81.5. But the paint's extra. The TRD package, the Pro package, the performance package, a little bit more as well. What you see here, just over $88,000. That's a tall ask, I think, especially considering that the average monthly payment for a vehicle these days, on average, is $756 at last look, whereas the new vehicle, what's the ATP average transaction price is over 51 grand for a new vehicle. Gas prices, as of this recording, over $4 on average. That's why I think hybrids are a smart choice, regardless of the size of vehicle. Go hybrid if you can. If you're not ready to put your both feet into the EV market, go hybrid to get you used to that type of economy. And that's the way we're going anyway. I mean, as much as I love gas engines like a Dodge Charger RT, which I also have in the driveway this week, love the feel of gas when you hit the accelerator. But this one, just as powerful, not as a gas engine over there, but it's a powerful feeling because of what they've done. Again, what was it, 437 horsepower? I think you got to test drive it for yourself and see if you like this wave maker color. In the end, for me this week, it's been a good experience. I'd definitely consider it if I had 88 grand laying around. But still, considering your family, considering your needs, your activities, not a bad choice. If you don't like this one, you can always go with a Tacoma, a 4Runner, a Tundra. They've got options. Hey, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to learn more about this vehicle, check out everymandriver.com. If you want to get a price quote in your area from a qualified dealership, the lowest advertised prices by zip code, check out quotes.everymandriver.com. There's also a direct link below this video. That's it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Click subscribe. I've been uploading new videos every week since 2012. Every single week since 2012. So I appreciate your support. Press subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Adios. One final note, if you are in the market for a new vehicle soon, great. Connect with your local dealership and price and test drive at least 3 different vehicles. A vehicle's strengths and weaknesses can only be discovered when you are behind the wheel. My reviews can be good, but you need to test drive these yourself. Visit quotes.everymandriver.com, select the make, model, and your zip code, and you'll get invoice pricing in your area on those vehicles. Shop smarter with price quotes at quotes.everymandriver.com. You can save $50 right now on the Nuvio Recovery Chiller. It works with any tub, bathtub, cold tub, indoors or out. Just plug it in, set the temperature, and start plunging. Use my code below and grab your deal today. Want to save 5% on your very own at-home barrel sauna? I've partnered with Almost Heaven to hook you up. This has been a game changer for my recovery and daily routine. Use my code and link below and start sweating smarter. You can save 5% on the red light panel that I use every week. This platinum LED Biomax works anywhere, bedroom, gym, recovery room, and is packed with science-backed benefits. Use my code below and start feeling the difference today.